Welcome to the Heritage and Model Rail channel. In 2019 I videoed over 150 layouts at model railway exhibitions in England and Scotland. Here are my 10 favourite O-gauge layouts. If you are new to my channel, start now and become a subscriber. Don't forget the bell icon for notifications. This layout is Car Street, modelled in O-gauge and exhibited by Alistair Mackay. Car Street is a small end-to-end O-gauge layout set sometime in the 1930s. The layout has 2 scenic boards plus 1 fiddle yard board and can be operated by 1 person. Buildings are a mixture of kits by Metcalfe and scratch build. All track and points are hand built. Control is analog DC and stock is all kit built. My thanks to Alistair for the information. Here you can view the O-gauge layout Craig Lang, exhibited by Cooper and District Model Railway Club. This layout represents a fictitious railway junction on the east coast of Scotland between the 1930s and 1960s, so as to run a wide variety of locomotives and coaching stock dating from pre-grouping to BR Maroon periods. Most of the buildings are reproductions or representative of East Coast structures. Much of the rolling stock is scratch or kit built. Additionally, there are some examples of ready-to-run green diesel locomotives.
My name's Craig. This is Grasso Sworn. It is an O-gauge layout set in the late 70s to mid 80s, based on what would have been had the railway possibly still been open into Alloa at the time. It's got 4 baseboards. They're all laser cut plywood, including the fiddle yard as well, so the baseboards are a kit as well, so there's been no I've not had to do any carpentry myself. It all comes as a kit, including the legs as well, which is really easy. The whole idea for the layout was, I've never had O-gauge before. I was quite interested in starting off in O-gauge. I bought a Dapol 08, I bought some track, and then it sort of grew from there. The track is all Pico track, so it's all ready to run, Pico streamline track and O-gauge. The buildings are a mixture of resin and plaster cast buildings from Skytrex and 10 Commandments. The rolling stock that runs on the layout is a mixture. There's some Dapol locos, some Helljan locos, mostly ready to run. There are some kit-built wagons on the layout as well. The control system's a Digitrax DCC system. I use it on my HO layout at home as well, so I've got all the different components of it, so I was able to get some extra components for this layout as well. It took approximately about a year from start to finish to build it. It isn't really finished yet, but to where it is at the moment, it's been about a year and just over a year to get it to this stage. This is its second show. Its first show was Bonnybridge, our own show. This is its second one, and it's also booked. It's going to another one in October, which is the O-gauge show in Lithgow. It's mostly proprietary models anyway, so it's went together pretty easily. I've not really had any problems in it.
Here you can view the O-gauge layout Loch Dhu, exhibited by Falkirk Model Railway Club. Loch Dhu is a fictitious remote terminus station in the Scottish Highlands. Depicting early 60s pre-beaching, it features Type 1 and Type 2 traction, hauling both freight and passenger traffic. The layout measures 16 feet by 2 feet across 4 boards. Buildings are all scratch built. Track is Pico Code 80 with control by NLE Power Cab. Stock is Bachmann Brassworks, Helljan and MTK. Wagons are all kit built. My thanks to Jim Reed for the information. This layout is Nauta Riverside in O-gauge and exhibited by the Scottish Diesel and Electric Group. Nauta is based on the north bank of the River Clyde near Kilpatrick between Dalmuir and Bowling. There were 2 railways through this area linking Glasgow with Dumbarton. The line still in use today was built by the North British Railway Company. The other line, built by the Caledonian Railway, was closed after becoming a victim of the Beaching Act in the late 1960s. The word Riverside was added to the line's Cali stations by British Rail in order to distinguish them from the North British stations. The Riverside line remained as a single line stump from Clydebank via Dalmuir to Dalnotter to serve local industries there. Shell Oil has a fuel terminal at Dalnotter located at the end of the line. Other customers on the line were Chivas Regal and Arnott Young shipbreakers. A coal yard was also situated on the line. The layout is set within the summer of 1979, with the premise being that during this time the line still saw the regular use of short-form passenger trains and DMUs serving Glasgow and Dumbarton, along with a multitude of mixed-rake freight trains serving the various industries on the line. The layout is built on 3 scenic boards and 1 fiddle yard. The buildings are all scratch-built. Track is by Pico with handmade points. Control is DCC by Lens, and stock is a mixture of Heljan, Dapol and Just Like the Real Thing. My thanks to Graham for the information. This O-gauge layout is Bathburn, exhibited by the Pentland Model Railway Group. Bathburn has been constructed to see what is possible in a relatively small space in O-gauge. The layout measures 10 feet by 2 feet and depicts a small suburban station somewhere in Britain. The time period of the model is flexible to allow us to use a variety of motive power we have available. So we can run from rail blue right up to just before privatisation. Passenger services are operated by a Class 121 bubble car. Additional traffic on the layout comes in the form of freight wagons to Thomson Transport private sidings, light locos and fuel deliveries to the small stabling point. The layout is controlled by a Digitrax DCC system, and the majority of the locos are sound fitted and are a mixture of Heljan, Dapol and kit-built models. The bubble car is a Bachmann Brassworks, also fitted with sound and directional lighting. The rolling stock is a mixture of ready-to-run and kit-built vehicles. My thanks to Brian Thompson for supplying the information. You can view the following layout Elderslie Station here, modelled in O-gauge and exhibited by the Ayr Model Railway Group. This station was built by the Glasgow, Paisley, Kilmarnock and Ayr Railway, later the G&SWR, in 1840 and survived into the 1960s under British Railways when it was demolished. It had 4 platform faces and over the years saw a wide diversity of locomotives and trains. The station depicted here is as built, with station canopies and finished in G and SWR red. The canopies were removed at a later date and the final colour scheme was BR cream. The 2 ex-G and SWR signal boxes are in later BR colours. The layout is 36 feet long and 16 feet wide, excluding barriers. There are 2 main running lines in each direction and 2 storage loops are provided for each direction. Due to space restrictions, the original Elderslie Station track plan has been modified insofar as all the adjacent loops and sidings have been omitted. The junctions, Paisley Canal lines at the north end and the Lochwinnock Loop Greenock lines at the south end have also been omitted. The station buildings and the signal boxes are the main scenic features of the layout and have been accurately modelled from the original G and SWR drawings. The layout can be operated by two operators running two trains simultaneously in each direction, plus an additional person whose duties include stewarding the layout and answering questions from the public. There are two fixed control panels, with one housing a two-channel DC-C controller and the other with two DC controllers. The latter can be supplemented with a handheld controller. A variety of stock can be run covering the following periods: GNSWR, LMS, BR Steam and BR Green Diesel. Here you can view the O-gauge layout, St George's Dock, exhibited by Alan Gray. In 1935, men had to queue up early to see if they could get work for the day. There was not so much employment to be had, and it was hard, dirty and heavy work, unloading ships by hand or labouring in the dry dock. Life was rough and uncomfortable. Food and housing were a challenge, and this is what is depicted in this layout. It was inspired by an old photograph of a steam trawler in a dry dock. The old Victorian warehouse is a cardboard kit, with the other buildings and track work scratch built. Ships are made from a variety of materials, include a collier, a coaster and a coaling ship, as well as various fishing vessels. Locos are kits or scratch built, with cardboard tram cars running up and down the street. The layout hopefully shows the rundown conditions of things in the 1930s depression. Here you can view the O-gauge layout, Lat Report, exhibited by John and Peter Smith. Is a real town just inland from the resort and port of Lat Report, but there was never a loco shed there. It was used as a plausible base for the layout, so a wide range of SNCF motive power from the 1950s could be displayed. The layout features an SNCF shed in the mid-1950s, based around Lat Report in France. The layout is O-gauge fine scale and uses lens DCC for control. It is 22 foot long by 3 foot wide, built on a slight curve to make it more interesting. Here you can view the Scarborough and District Railway Modellers O-gauge layout, Durham Street. The layout had its first public showing at the Falkirk Model Railway Exhibition in November 2019, where this video was filmed. Durham Street depicts a busy northeast engine shed in the early 1960s, with new diesel locos mixing with rapidly disappearing steam engines. This show is the first public exhibition of the layout, having only been viewed previously at a local club event. The layout has been put together by 4 members who had no previous experience of modelling in O-gauge. It has taken 3 years to construct. It is a 7-metre end-to-end layout with an unusual arrangement at each end of the 6 boards. As you look at the layout on the left, there is a short multi-track fiddle yard, which is a traverser. At the other end of the layout is an electrically driven turntable, which is part of the scenic display. All buildings are scratch built, with the main shed being constructed from a material called Fomex, glued together with pipe cement. The textured brick covering was sourced in Greece and glued on with Yoo-hoo glue. Track is C&L fine scale with DCC control across 4 operators by Digitrax. Points are tortoise. There are 2 switch panels which are synchronized together. When a point is changed, it is reflected on the other panel and also on each hand controller. Yard lights are supplied by RM Electronics, and items like the water tower were laser cut. Stock has been sourced from LH Loveless, Fine Scale Brass, 55H, Heljan, Dapol and Gladiator. My thanks to Ian Harper from the club for supplying the information. To view more exhibition layouts, click on the playlist. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you soon.